My name is Chelsea Sink, and I'm going to be talking about advertising regulation comparisons between the United States and Europe. Nearly 40% of the more than $270 billion spent on advertising throughout the world occurs in the United States, and more than 25% more of that is spent in Europe. Some of the United States advertising regulatory bodies are the Federal Trade Commission, which helps protect consumers from unfair and deceptive advertising. It especially helps with health, safety, and economic injury. National Advertising Division reviews factual claims made in national advertisements and then offers dispute resolution for those advertisers. Some of the European advertising regulatory bodies are Europa Market Surveillance, which is basically to help ensure that provisions that are made in European legislation are enforced across the European Union. There's also the European Union Misleading and Comparative Advertising, which has legislation that regulates comparative advertising and protects consumers. The final one is the UK, United Kingdom Advertising Standards Authority, which is an independent body set up by the advertising industry to police the rules laid down in the advertising codes. I'm going to be going over two different types of controversial advertising to show the differences between how Europe advertises compared to the United States. The first one I'm going to go over is cosmetic advertising. All four of these advertisements were banned in the United Kingdom. They were all banned for retouching, so either the mascara one that you saw with Natalie Portman, the Dior ad, had retouching with her eyelashes, and the Lancome Julia Roberts one had retouching to get rid of wrinkles, even though the product was meant to help rid of wrinkles. European cosmetic advertising regulations, the biggest one is the UK Committee of Advertising Practice, or CAP, and the Broadcast Committee of Advertising Practice. They say that advertised claims, including visual claims, should not misleadingly exaggerate the effect the product is capable of achieving. Retouching related to any of the characteristics directly relevant to the apparent performance of the product being advertised. So basically, if you're advertising for a mascara, you shouldn't be able to go back and retouch and make that mascara look better. The United States cosmetic advertising regulations. The United States differs from the European Union in that they don't actually ban ads if they have that retouching, but as long as the ad discloses that it was enhanced and altered in some fashion. But brands cannot make unsubstantiated claims about health benefits, specifically with the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease. The FDA says that if you do make those claims, it has to be tested and prove that it's effective. The other type of advertisements that I'm going to go over is advertising towards children. I'm going to play a selection of a theme song, which you might be familiar with, in the next slide. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon. That theme song from the Pokemon, Gotta Catch 'Em All, is actually banned in Sweden because they think it's a form of advertisement to children. In Europe, they have the Audiovisual Media Services Directive. It has 7 criteria, basically saying that it shall not exhort minors to buy a product or service because of their inexperience or naivete.
and it shouldn't directly encourage minors to persuade their parents or others to purchase these goods or services being advertised. It shouldn't exploit special trust minors place in parents and teachers and other persons. It shouldn't unreasonably show minors in dangerous situations. In addition, children's programs may only be interrupted if the scheduled duration is longer than 30 minutes, and product placement is not allowed in children's programs. And the member states that the providers must develop codes of conduct regarding advertising of certain foods during children's programs. Some of the stricter advertising regulations in Europe are in countries like Norway, with the Norwegian Broadcasting Law, which became a law on January 1st, 1994. It says that advertising may not be broadcast in association with children's programming or directed specifically to children. As we talked about earlier, Sweden has the broadcasting law, which was adopted in 1999, and it says advertising during a TV broadcast may not have its objective capturing the attention of children under 12 years of age, and advertisements may not come immediately before or after a program or a portion of a program which is oriented primarily to children under 12 years of age. All these advertisements, Trix, Ronald McDonald, Taste the Rainbow, the Kool-Aid Man, Snap Crackle Pop, Tony the Tiger, are all banned in Sweden and Norway, so you would have never seen those ads as a child growing up there. Advertising towards children in the United States. The Federal Trade Commission decided against formal regulations for advertising towards children. However, there are governmental guidelines. So basically, companies that advertise cereal, soda pop, snacks, restaurant meals, they can't have certain ads running on websites or have product placement in movies or have games that are some form of like hidden advertising for them. And there's some self-regulatory, which holds companies to limits on the amount of calories, sugar, sodium, and saturated fat allowed in foods promoted to children. And these are my citations.